It's time to get your Swedish on, brother.
What is up, guys? Mr. Tryhard Tactical here, and before I get into the video, I haven't been uploading lately just because, well, for one, YouTube's not really a priority, you know, and second of all, just because of work, you know, doing the whole 9-to-5 deal. But anyway, before I get into this knife, I want to tell you guys I'll be reviewing this knife right here, the Ontario. And I will also be reviewing the Kershaw Blur, which is a little assisted opening pocket knife. So let's hop right into what this video is all about. The Morakniv knife. I guess it's called the Heavy Duty MG. The knife is about 3.2 millimeters thick, and it's 104 millimeters long, which I believe is about 3 inches, maybe a little bit less. I'm talking about the blade, of course. And the total length is 224 millimeters, which I believe is somewhere around 6 inches. Stamped there on the blade, it has Morakniv. I'm not sure if you guys can make that out. The handle is pretty hefty, fits in your hand fairly well. And the great thing about these little knives is they're performers, and they only cost about 15 bucks on Amazon. So it's a cheap buy for a, you know, fairly good knife. Overall, it feels fairly good in your hand. I feel like it's something, maybe if you're going on a hunting trip for elk or something, you could buy, you know, 3 of them or whatever if it's a good fit for you, and you wouldn't have to sharpen your knife every, you know, 10 minutes of skinning the animal out or whatever. You know, you could continually use the same knife, you know, if you had a couple. The box it came in, it says Morakniv on it. It's a picture of the blade and the sheath. It says made in Sweden, founded in 1891, and appointed by the King of Sweden. Got some birch on the box. Just, you know, nothing super special. Just serves its purpose for packaging. Here we got the sheath. It says made in Sweden on the back right there. It's got a little notch right here, just so you can put your thumb against it when you're trying to get the knife out. It's nothing super special. It's just, you know, synthetic plastic or something along that line, but it feels like it won't fail on you. It's fairly malleable, so it won't, you know, break. It's not super brittle. It's just super basic. It fits on the knife very well. You know, there's minimal shake to it. I don't feel like it's gonna fall off in any circumstance whatsoever. With the higher carbon steel and the 27-degree angle of the edge, it's a little bit blunter, but it keeps the edge for longer. And let's hop right into performance testing. So here I have some just spruce boughs that I cut down a little bit, get rid of the you know, residual vegetation on it. So there's our little stick for this demonstration. And right now, straight from the factory, I mean, I haven't used this thing too much. It'll shave your arm hair, but it's not the sharpest thing I've ever seen from the factory. So if we just get a little bit of feather sticking going, we can look at how it handles. After demonstrating my crappy feather sticking skills, I guess we'll do a little bit of a paper test. So here you can see I have a image of Obama printed up. It's one of his finer pictures that really depicts, how great of a dude he is. So let's see what I can do on paper. So as you could see from that little demonstration, it held its edge pretty well. Now, I was looking at this blade on their website, and it said that the heavy duty is meant for the harder chores in the outdoors, and they actually mentioned batoning. So since they mentioned it in their website, I doubt it'll be a real good contender just because it's a light little nimble knife compared to generally other knives. Let's see if it lives up to what the website makes it out to be. So as you could see from that little demonstration, it held its edge pretty well. Now, I was looking at this blade on their website, and it said that the heavy duty is meant for the harder chores in the outdoors, and they actually mentioned batoning. So since they mentioned it in their website, I doubt it'll be a real good contender just because it's a light little nimble knife. Let's see if it lives up to what the website makes it out to be. So, the only thing I could find to baton was this fairly long branch right here. So, might as well do another test and try to chop this thing in half so we can baton it. I don't think it'll do very well, to be honest. So as you guys could see, the Mora couldn't really dish it out as far as cutting this thing in half goes, vertically, just because the blade length isn't ideal for cutting something like this, as you can see. So that didn't surprise me. I didn't expect it to do that, and I don't really think that's its job. But the website didn't say anything about chopping, but it did say something about batoning. So this is where it's really going to count. This is where we're going to put their name to the test. Alright, let's commence the batoning. Well, there you have it, folks. The Mora did baton that in half, and it's a small blade, and I didn't even expect it to put out like it did. Just because of its size, and weight distribution and things like that. I didn't expect it to even be able to baton something that size. So it did. It performed. A little bit difficult, but that's what you can expect from a small knife like that. Now, as far as nicks, As far as nicks and things like that in the spine of the blade, you know, nothing happened, which is definitely a good thing. There's no nicks in it whatsoever. As far as the blade goes, it might have a little. The blade does have folding in it. I don't have a camera that's good enough to see it. However, I can tell you there are folds in it. Alright guys, so let's get right down to the practicality, the durability, and the overall, you know, conclusion of this knife. Now, as I said before, the blade did roll, although you guys won't be able to see it because my camera is complete crap, which I will be fixing here next Wednesday. I should have a much better camera by then. But, you know, this knife isn't the most durable thing out there. It's not super bad. It's fairly corrosion resistant. You know, it is stainless steel. Blade did roll, but it's a $15 knife. And, you know, for the price of one knife, well, in comparison with one knife that costs like 60 bucks or something like that, that's this size, I would go with this just because, you know, if you're going on a week-long hunting trip, or if you're just going on a camping trip in general where you'll need a light little nimble knife, I would pick up a couple of these, and then I would have several different knives, and I wouldn't have a need for sharpening or anything like that. However, if you're looking for a knife that is more durable, I wouldn't go with this knife. I guess it just depends on the situation or what kind of person you are. If you're looking for something that can just be a quick little utility knife or whatever, I would get this. But if you're looking for something that'll be a lifelong companion that you really want to keep and hold on to, I would get something else. So that concludes this review, and as always, stay tactical.